Wait, I'll give you a time. I am speaking of choice. Hi.
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 How are you?
Very well. How are you?
Really well.
You look good. What's your secret?
You.
Well, I could say the same. It's a yes, isn't it?
It's interesting because my mind is really hardly ever active in certain ways, and there's a few areas I wanted to speak about. The first thing I wanted to speak about is my kind of particular makeup. I've been a scientist all my life and had lots of different recognitions, and always been about inquiry into, well, what's the reality of this? And I love the scientific mind, really. And there's different paths, I think, that people follow. And so the irony with me is that my path has been of the mind.
I love the scientific mind.
Yeah.
It's
just amazing.
It is inquiry.
It is. It's like true inquiry.
Yeah.
And I find with a lot of the spiritual offerings lately, it's the mind ends up getting kind of this really bad rap in this appropriate way and also in this odd inappropriate way.
Right.
So it's this kind of, like everything else, the flavors there of the yin and the yang.
Yeah.
And so I have my doctorate in the subject of bliss. And it's the best subject to get your doctorate in because it's always doing you. It's not, and it's the most ironic thing. So I had this big explosion while I was writing my doctorate, asking the question, what is bliss? And I was just really struggling because basically I was reading everything I could on the subject, and I read this line by J. Krishnamurti, the problem is the entire movement of thought. And something happened, like some explosion, where I just knew myself as beyond all that, but it was really visceral and experiential because I had the entire movement of thought, or what I felt it in these books, all on the floor trying to explain.
Who you are.
Yeah, so it was just the most hilarious thing, really. So I still find that that the science right now, and so I still have that bent to me as far as what I experience and of myself. And but after I did the doctorate, I kind of felt like, well, what do I do now? And there was this sense of a doing again, like. And then Yukio Raman, I think, is a friend of yours. He came to Buffalo where I was living, and then right the next day I met you. You came into my life, and I immediately had this sense of a moth going into a flame, and like that was it. And so that was like maybe 9 years ago now, and you've been with me ever since.
Thank you.
And
thank you for using me that way.
And the one thing I have to say, because I've been with many other teachers and obviously read a lot, is the thing I appreciate with you, and what I noticed at the public meeting, is that every dimension of myself, like emotional, mental, I experience completion with you. Like, my mind has never had an objection to anything you've said. Ever, and neither has my heart, and like I was thinking about that word objection, and when the mind has, when it's like it's creating an object, within that.
That's perfect.
Yeah, and so I just appreciate so much these past years, and it always intrigues me too how if you pop into my awareness as a form, that you'll be saying something that I'm like interest finding, or is appearing in my life. And there's just always that opportunity to go so much deeper.
I love it. The synchronicity of
Yeah.
it.
So, and of course now here you're talking about the brain. And so it was really weird because I had that experience at the public meeting that everything was complete, all the dimensions. And this thought came in, M theory, look up M theory. Have you heard of M
No.
theory? Well, and so I was having this calling that I was supposed to speak to you about M theory. And then my mind, there's this, there's still these parts are like, no one's going to be interested in M theory.
But we're interested in you, and that's for sure. So you can bring yourself into the theory.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all that's
so
needed.
the science right now, physics is the one science that's all about one unit theory of unity. They're just completely driven, these scientists, like we have to find one theory. So they have all these different theories, like 5 theories with string theory, which I've been thinking might be the 5 senses in a way. And then this guy came up with M theory, and it's basically mystery theory. It's the M is for mystery.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
They got it.
Yes, they got it. They got it. They got it.
That's great.
And the whole thing is all about parallel universes, being experienced here now, and that everything is all in the now and all parallel universes. And that's kind of how, the deeper I've gone with, or not gone, in terms of extinction, really, is what I experienced, like that I found that your offering of going deeply within an emotion, that I could do the same with mind. And as I would merge with mind, it was like the basically sensation, that physical sensation just, blows open, and mind is silent. So people will say all these stories, or stories will come, but it's an empty story.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
exactly it.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, that's really what Ramana points to when he says the I thought.
The I thought.
Find the I thought.
Yeah.
And there's emptiness.
Yes.
And yet consciousness.
Yes.
Oh, this is so good.
So, and there's just one other thing that I just feel, again, with Ramana's gift too, that he was speaking about ourself as basically dreamless sleep. And so we've been talking about how we reincarnate ourselves every day. And that if you wake up from dreamless sleep, nothing is gone, pure extinction, really. And you never know if your body-mind mechanism is going to appear again or not. You never know. So then there's that moment before as the nervous system, basically the nervous system is completely relaxed, totally open in dreamless sleep. And then the nervous system has sensation and, its apparatuses of knowing and making sense of nothing. So what I really have this direct experience about that, like what's prior to the observer and the observed created world, is everything is all about that extinction or not knowing yourself, deeper than the witness even.
Yes.
And so it seems, and this is part of how it correlates with M theory, is that they figured out that, why they figured it out is that gravity, they couldn't figure out why gravity wasn't stronger than what it is. And the only way they could explain it is that it's piercing through from another dimension or another universe. And that's what I kind of have the sense of our nervous systems as we evolve, is deeper and deeper opening and relaxing, and the dreamless sleep is piercing through. So it starts as maybe, like you said, some people don't know it at all. Then there's the candle. And somehow, by mystery, there's this, interest or something. And it's like basically dreamless sleep all the time. And it's kind of weird, but it's wild.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
everything's really silent. So I just
Oh,
wanted to thank you
this
so
is
much.
good news. This
I
is
just wanted
so
to thank you so
beautiful.
much. And thank you for
Thank you.
allowing me to, because I always feel a little nervous about that. I was trying to make this science not abstract. because it can feel so mental, and people will be like talk about like people love to be in their mind but not in the scientific mind.
Not really investigation.
Yeah. And then meanwhile, it's just like ecstasy to me. How
Because you're
glorious.
speaking of the open mind and
the open mind,
free mind.
Yeah.
And really, that's the same as self.
Yes.
Then there's no difference in mind and self.
Exactly.
The only difference comes in the separation.
Yes.
In the illusion of the separation.
Yeah.
So
I
yes,
just wanted to
and look,
thank you.
Wouldn't you say that her being was in her words? This is.
I appreciate it.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
It's such good news that scientific thought and spiritual investigation meet. It's such confirmation. We have to have that. Of course it can't be divorced. It's just like mind and body are the same. So thank you. Thank you for bringing that to
one
us.
other thing when they're talking, look up like M theory or parallel universes, because there's this thing at one point where they say that there's so many universes happening at once that it's closer than your own breath. And I'm like, that's Gangaji! And it was just so cool.
It is.
So it's like you've been living M theory this whole time.
I definitely, once you touch it, you know.
Mystery.
Is mystery. And really, that's this book I'm reading, which is for lay people. It's called Proust Was a Neuroscientist. And it's relating literature and scientific thought. So how artists and writers always have intimations of this bigger universe and how that gets expressed. And now is obviously can be categorized in the laboratory.
Yeah, in this wild way.
In this, must be the end of days, huh? Isn't this where the rapture's supposed to happen?
It's like everything's crumbling.
Yeah, so the whole apocalypse, the chaos, the falling in of what you believe, and then this mystery being here.
And it's really, yesterday my husband and I had a weird electrical thing, and the wires went out, and it started to get very surreal. Like he'd try the generator, it wasn't working. We'd try flashlights, it wasn't working. And we just found ourselves laughing and laughing. We thought, this is a trial run for the end of days, and it's hilarious. Like, maybe we'll play the guitar instead of watching the debates, you know? And it was like, all right. It was great.
Oh, so beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So happy to know that that you found this and you're sharing this. It's really important.
Thank you. Appreciate
Beautiful
it.
work.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Oh, we can just relax. Oh, we can just relax, right? You know, there's this period of one's life where it is a struggle and there is work and it is pushing against what feels like the sleep that won't let you, just can't quite wake up out of it. And so it goes on maybe for generations or decades. And then just something penetrates, something just parts it. So then the opportunity and the invitation is to be true to that, to really open to that, to let yourself fall over the precipice, as someone was saying up here, or fall into the source of universes.